Alright, so today is Monday, May 21st, and let's go over the expected weather for the upcoming week across central and eastern Washington and northern Idaho. The main topics we're going to be dealing with this week is the continuation of very warm temperatures, as well as a thunderstorm threat over the week, high river levels, as well as a long-range outlook. So the temperature trend as we go through the week is we're going to be warming up as we go into Tuesday with high temperatures in the lower elevations in the 80s. This plot here is showing forecasted temperatures for Spokane, Lewiston, and Omak. And we're going to be looking at high temperatures running 10 to 15 degrees above normal through Tuesday, or from Tuesday through Friday, and then cooling towards normal as we go over the Memorial Day weekend. Alright, so thunderstorms this week. The main impacts are going to be heavy rain and localized flooding. The environment we're going to be in this week is similar to what we had last week, where we saw heavy rain from thunderstorms in Lewiston and Ephrata that caused flooding. So that'll be something we'll be watching as we go through the week. Alright, so where are the thunderstorms going to be? Well, for Monday and Tuesday of this week, we're looking at mainly afternoon and evening thunderstorms over the mountains of southeast Washington into the central Panhandle Mountains. As we go into Wednesday, the thunderstorm threat's going to expand to include all of the region. Now, it's not a big thunderstorm event where we have a really strong system coming through. So widespread storms are not expected, but we are looking at isolated to widely scattered storms that will form first over the mountains before possibly impacting the lower elevations. But again, the whole region is under a threat for some thunderstorms on Wednesday. As we go into Thursday, that thunderstorm threat's going to shift into northeast Washington, north Idaho, as well as far southeast Washington. So that's it for the thunderstorms, at least through Thursday. As we go into Friday and the Memorial Day weekend, that's when forecast confidence decreases quite a bit. So unfortunately, we can't get too specific with the details at this time, but we are going to be looking at a chance of showers and thunderstorms. We're also going to be trending cooler during this period, which is going to usher in some breezy winds. So again, low confidence, and stay informed of latest forecasts as we go through the coming week. Alright, so that's it for the weather side of things. Now we're going to talk about hydrology as far as the current and the forecast flooding. The main impacts this week are expected to be on the Okanogan River, where it has come down from what it was earlier this month, as I'll show here in a little bit. It's currently at moderate flood stage. It is forecast to come back up to major flood stage as we go through the week. Oreille River below Albany Falls is also expected to rise into the major flood category. Otherwise, everywhere else we're looking at minor flooding or near flood stage being achieved. So, water in the mountain snowpack, there is still quite a bit out there. It's not as much as what we were looking at last week at this time, since we have melted quite a bit of snow. But as you get into the upper elevations of British Columbia and in the North Cascades, there's still quite a bit of snowpack out there, which is why we're expecting the river rises as we go into this week with another round of warm temperatures. And here's what the snow water percentiles were looking like. Unfortunately, the latest values over the weekend were not available. The latest data I can pull up was May 17th, so 4 days ago. But we were still looking at snowpack that was above normal across much of southeast British Columbia, going into western Montana. So that's what is going to help feed the continued rises on the Oreille River as water continues to rise from the snowmelt in those areas. Alright, so let's go into the specific sites. This is for the Okanogan River near Tonasket. You can see it is continuing to fall today, but it is expected to make the turn around Wednesday and then continue rising as we go into the Memorial Day weekend, cresting at about 18.4 feet, which is lower than the most recent crest on May 18th, which was 19.31 feet. The Kettle River, that has come down significantly since last week, where it hit major flood stage. It is now down below action stage. The reason why I'm showing this one is, even though it's not forecast to reach flood stage, is that there's some uncertainty with that. We did see some good rises recently with the snow melt, so with there still being some snowpack in that basin, we will be watching this forecast closely through the upcoming week to see if it can make it back up the flood stage or not. So again, some uncertainty for that site. For the Oreille River below Albany Falls, you can see it is forecast to continue rising. It's forecast to reach the 2011 level around Thursday of this week, and then surpassing that as we go into the Memorial Day weekend, and possibly reaching the major flood stage level around the 27th or 28th of May. All right, Lake Oreille is currently at minor flood stage, and it is forecast to remain in the minor flooding category, but surpassing the 2011 value this week as well. All right, so that's it for the hydrology side of things. We're going to move into the longer range outlooks. The 8 to 14 day outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center that were issued today favor elevated chances for warmer than normal temperatures and drier than normal conditions as we go into next week. And then, as a reminder, you can get the latest forecast for our rivers in a couple places. One is near the top of our webpage. There's a river and lakes link. And also towards the bottom, there's a rivers and lakes link there as well. And if you click on either of those, it will, when you go to our webpage, it'll take you to the hydrology page where there's a direct link to it right here. There's a direct URL. And then when you click on that, it'll bring up the latest river observation page where you can click on any point to get the latest observations and forecasts, as well as historical crest information, lots of good information there. So that is all I have. As always, you can stay informed through our webpage, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, where we post the weekly weather briefings. And with that, thank you very much for listening on the call.